This is Westeros, and this is probability, the only law that actually matters in a war. In this video, I will attempt to simulate the entire Game of Thrones timeline without plot armor, but I have a problem. The narrative relies on statistical miracles to keep key assets alive. That's like playing Russian roulette with a fully loaded gun and watching the chamber jam 6 times in a row. Defining the variables first, we need to define plot armor in system terms. I am not looking for bad writing. I am looking for probability violations. In this simulation, any event with a survival probability of less than 1% is treated as a fatality. If an asset puts themselves in a position where death is the mathematical certainty, the simulation liquidates that asset. No last-minute saves. No convenient timing. No narrative intervention. When we apply this filter, the map changes instantly. We don't need to look at Season 8 to find the first error. We need to look at Season 1. The Battle of the Green Fork. Asset liquidation. Tyrion Lannister. Tyrion Lannister is a high-value political asset with 0 combat utility. Yet, Tywin Lannister places him in the vanguard. The vanguard is the meat shield. Its strategic function is to absorb the initial kinetic energy of the enemy charge, so the real army can maneuver. Casualty rates in a vanguard often exceed 50%. Tyrion is a dwarf. He is untrained. He is wearing ill-fitting armor. In the show, he gets knocked out and wakes up when the fighting is over. But in the simulation, he is trampled by 3,000 horses. Therefore, Tyrion Lannister dies in Season 1. This single liquidation removes the only actor capable of asymmetric defense. Without Tyrion, there is no acting hand of the king in Season 2. Cersei is left unchecked. Without Tyrion, there is no wildfire trap at the Battle of the Blackwater. Stannis Baratheon has superior naval logistics. He lands. He breaches the Mud Gate. Without the wildfire delay, Tywin's reinforcements do not arrive in time. King's Landing falls. The Lannister regime is executed. The War of the Five Kings ends in Season 2 with a Stannis victory, all because one statistical outlier was corrected. The Jon Snow probability now. Let's move to the north. The Battle of the Bastards. This is the single most egregious violation of tactical logic in the series. Jon Snow charges a cavalry line alone. We are talking about a volley of arrows from 600 yards, followed by a kinetic impact of heavy cavalry. The probability of survival here isn't 1%. It is 0. Jon Snow is brave. But the system does not reward bravery. In the simulation, Jon Snow is dead the moment he leaves his formation. Therefore, the Stark army loses its figurehead. Tormund Giantsbane is a raider, not a general. The wildling formation collapses. When the Knights of the Vale arrive, there is no army left to save. Sansa Stark has no leverage. The Boltons retain control of Winterfell. This means the North remains fractured and hostile when the Night King arrives. There is no king in the North. There is only a frozen graveyard. The Arya anomaly. The long night finally. The ending. The Night King. The show treats the army of the dead like a movie monster. Slow and dramatic. But the simulation treats them as a hive mind. They have no fear. They have no blind spots. They have instant communication. Arya Stark attempting to sneak past the White Walkers is a system failure. A hive mind is a 360-degree perimeter alarm. If one unit senses her, the entire network senses her. Therefore, Arya is intercepted 10 feet into the Godswood. Without the miraculous assassination of the command unit, the battle becomes a simple attrition equation. The dead do not tire. The living do. Winterfell falls. The retreat becomes a rout. The Night King marches south with a new army, an army that now includes Jon Snow, Daenerys Targaryen, and the entire population of the North. Conclusion. So, what happens when you remove plot armor? The story breaks. It doesn't span 8 seasons. It ends in Season 2 with Stannis Baratheon, or it ends in Season 8 with the Apocalypse. The heroes we followed were not skilled. They were statistical anomalies. And in a closed system, anomalies always regress to the mean. Plot armor didn't just save characters. It saved the entire illusion that individual heroism matters in a world governed by math. In Westeros, survival is not a reward. It's a rounding error. If Stannis Baratheon actually took the throne in Season 2, the White Walkers might have been stopped at the wall. To see how Stannis was the only strategic counter to the Long Night, watch this analysis right here.